Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Men in the Fiber Arts. This is Nicole O's World podcast. This is a special segment I'm doing. If you are new and checking me out for the first time in this special segment, welcome. I'm glad to have you. I hope you like it. If you like it, subscribe. I do have a weekly podcast. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for checking out this special segment. And please let me know what you think. Leave some comments. As I said, this is episode 3. Before I dive into the two amazing men I'm going to be speaking about, I just want to clear some administrative stuff up. The reason it's taken me so long to make this podcast is I wanted to do some research, simply just to make sure that people are interested in this and that they like it, and that I'm just not taking up space on YouTube by doing this. And I have gotten some wonderful reviews on it, so I'm just going to keep going with it until you guys say, we're sick of it, stop it, then I'll stop. But until then, I'll continue. So I think we'll dive right in. And the first wonderful gentleman that we will be speaking about is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits. If you watch podcasts, you're probably familiar with him. He has a podcast with his friend Callie called Dramatic Knits. And they also have a blog spot called dramaticknits.com. I will leave a link to it in the show notes. But Steve has been knitting for 8 years. I don't think he crochets, but I obviously knits. Him and his leading man just started a business called Leading Men Fiber Arts. Oh, it's fabulous. Their yarn is fabulous. They they kettle dye yarn and fiber as well and sell it. And he also sells some hand spun yarn. He spins, so occasionally he will put some up in his Etsy shop to sell, or in actually their Leading Men Fiber Arts shop. Steve he's very creative, and I love the fact that he just has a dramatic flair to it. He does create some beautiful knit patterns. He also knits, I think he calls it knits on commission for some yarn shops or designers, and it comes out just beautiful. Excuse me, I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure that I get everything done. I mean, I could just rave and go on about him. He's just wonderful. Very informative, a wealth of information. He teaches drama, and his class recently put on a play, and I would have loved to seen it, because when I gathered, it was great. Yay! As I said, the hand dyed, all kinds of colors. Well, nothing tacky, nothing. It's great. Very informative podcast. On his podcast, they do have drawings. He has a Rav group, and they have done some knit-alongs. I haven't participated in the last 2, only because I'm trying to get done what I have to get done, but they are great. He's giving prizes away for some of them, so check out his Rav group. I will leave a link to his blog, as I said, in my show notes, so please feel free to check him out. Contact him if you have any questions about anything, if you check out his yarn. What else can I tell you about Steve, other than he's such a sweetheart? Very sweet. He lives in Illinois, somewhere in Illinois. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm sure he's getting covered with snow like we are, but if you are, stay safe. Let's see here. That covers everything, and the next person that I am going to talk about is Ron Strong. Some of you may or may not know him. He is a knit and crochet designer. Excuse me, my nose is runny. He's been knitting for 7 years and crocheting for 17, so that's amazing. Some of you may have seen his work published in I think was it Love of Knitting, maybe one. There's several magazines that he has been published in. He does have a Rav group called Strong Design. Check it out and type his name in Rav and you can see some of his fabulous patterns, or just type it, Google search it. He also published a book that he did for he does modern vintage, and something that was dear to him was for the World War II memorial, I believe. It was World War II knits. It's like a vintage book, yet modern pattern. Let's see here. His patterns. Oh, I don't have it here with me in the show, but I recently knitted one of his hat patterns. And for those of us that do patterns, sometimes patterns can be complicated because there may be the whole editing process that has to go through before a pattern can be published. You have to edit it, you have to make sure everything's in there correctly, and sometimes it can get confusing. But his so easy to follow, so easy to understand. His patterns are great. And some are free, some are paid for, but they're fabulous. Check them out if you get a chance. He's also, I think, in the works of publishing another book, which I can't wait for. He is also on Facebook. You can find him on his fan page. Do check him out and do check out some of his designs. I am a big vintage person. Vintage and retro. I love the whole vintage retro thing, and his patterns are they're great, modern, yet still have that flair of when ladies were ladies, kind of, you know? Ladies, I don't know, I'm just in love with that era. But both of these two men are fabulous. Check them out, give them a chance. You won't go wrong. I cannot say enough good things and great things about the four men that I've spoken of. The four men that I've spoken about so far. I cannot say enough good things about them. They're friendly, they're open. They'll answer any questions you may have. Great podcasts, great designers. So please check them out. The next time I do episode 4, there's 2 more people I'm going to be talking about. And I haven't been able to contact them, but I will give you the information that I found off the internet from them, the research, and from their blog pages. One is Madman Knitting, and another one is a group called Crochet Kids, and that's KROCHET Kids. It's an organization. I first heard about them when I was watching Knit and Crochet Now on Create TV about these college kids, and that was like a couple years ago, and I've just been following them, and it's a great organization. But yeah, that's for episode 4 coming up. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this episode. If there is anything that I have left out and not put in here for these 2 wonderful gentlemen, please contact me and let me know so that I can fix it and I can update it. Until then, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.